The Village That Goes Dark, starring John. The Road to Nowhere. On a fog-choked autumn night, John was driving along a desolate mountain road, guided only by a crumpled paper map after his phone lost all signal. He had gotten lost returning from a remote business conference, and everything around him looked like a grey-scale painting, untouched by time. Between the sharp curves of the road, he spotted an old wooden sign, barely legible. Al-Jibal, 3 kilometers. He had never heard of such a village, but the night was swallowing the sky and the cold crept in like fingers around his neck. He decided to head there in search of shelter. The man in the road. As the car rolled forward over gravel, John saw a man standing still in the middle of the road, wrapped in a tattered black robe, his face entirely covered by what looked like funeral cloth. John stopped, rolled down his window, and asked, "Are you all right?" The man gave no reply except a single sentence, spoken in a raspy, echoing voice. "Don't stay here past midnight. The light does not like you." Then he turned and vanished into the mist. The village drenched in shadow. As John entered the village, the sun fully dipped below the horizon. Every house looked long abandoned, yet faint lights flickered behind the windows. He caught a glimpse of a shadow darting across a narrow alley and thought someone must still live here. Suddenly, all the lights in the village flashed at once, then went out completely. Darkness devoured the town. Whispers from the well. In the village square, John found an old stone well. He approached it cautiously, but stopped dead when he heard faint whispers rising from deep within. "He has come, the new light." He leaned over the edge and saw dozens of glowing eyes staring up at him from the depths. Terrified, he stumbled back and fell to his knees. When he stood again, the eyes and the voices were gone. The boy without a shadow. Down a narrow alley, John saw a little boy standing silently, smiling with unmoving lips. His eyes were entirely black, as if hollowed out. John approached cautiously and asked, "Where are your parents?" The boy whispered, "The darkness took them. It's coming for you tonight." Then he ran off and vanished into a house that had no door. But what truly unnerved John wasn't the words. It was the fact that under the moonlight, the child cast no shadow. The cursed clock. Seeking shelter, John entered one of the old houses. The door creaked open, like someone had been expecting him. Inside, it was disturbingly clean, unnaturally so. On the wall hung an antique clock that ticked every minute, but its hands remained frozen at midnight. As he sat for a moment, he noticed it flickered and died behind him, one after another. It felt like something was chasing him through the shadows, extinguishing the light in its wake. He stopped to catch his breath and heard heavy footsteps following behind, halting each time he turned around. Then, right beside his ear, a voice whispered, "Stay in the dark, where you belong." Faces in the windows. John walked past house after house. Every window he glanced at had a pale face staring out in dead silence. Whenever he looked directly, the face would vanish instantly. But in one terrible moment, when he turned casually, he saw one of those faces behind him, outside the window, on his side of the glass. He screamed, but the sound fell flat in the stillness, like the village itself had swallowed it whole. The ritual of shadows. Drawn by instinct or terror, John fled toward the church at the hilltop. What he saw there burned itself into his mind forever. Dozens of villagers stood in a circle around a black fire that cast no flame, only writhing shadows. They chanted in a language he didn't understand. "Let all eyes go dark, let every heart sleep, and let night live forever." Among them stood a figure wearing a mask identical to John's face. No, not a mask, a copy of him, participating in the ritual. Back to the beginning. He ran toward the edge of the village, desperate to escape. but every path he took returned him to the same square, the same well, the same windows watching him. John realized the horrifying truth. The village doesn't let you leave, it absorbs you. In the final moments, he looked at a mirror hanging on one of the walls, but his reflection was gone. In its place stood the other John, smiling a smile he never knew he could make. The reflection lifted a candle, then snuffed it out with his fingers. Darkness fell, and John was never seen again. The end.